First off, I want to thank the Knights of Columbus for bringing this to us and wanting to recognize one of our officers. A lot of people don't know this, but the Knights of Columbus has recognized our Officer of the Year for, as far as I can remember, on the plaques well prior to me even starting with the police department. But the night is about Eric Watson, Lieutenant Eric Watson. What I will tell y'all is I was probably a year on the job when Eric started with Hammond Police Department. We got him from another agency. When he came over, we were partners, district partners. We worked together for a long time, became very good friends. We call him Lieutenant Watson, but I call him my friend, and he always has been.
Amen.
I'll tell y'all that through Eric's whole career, he's always been a guy who's put himself in a position to make the catch. One time he and I went fishing, and we were in this boat, and every time he cast his line out, he would catch fish. And I would cast my line out, and I wouldn't catch anything. So I strategically, with the trolling motor, moved myself around to be in his spot. I'd cast the line out, he would cast the line out, and he would catch fish again. So the running joke for 26 years is he baited something on my line and made it to where I couldn't catch fish and he could do the catches. So, something else about Lieutenant Watson. In our careers, we've had several different things. We've helped people, we've had scuffles, and Eric's always been there. A lot of people don't know this, but when we had the active attack on our target, there was officers running everywhere. Everything was happening. Lieutenant Watson drove up, exited his vehicle, and he was the subject, he was the officer, I guess a sergeant probably at the time, who actually tased the subject who was committing the active attack, and officers were able to get him in custody. Eric has historically found himself in the right positions at the right times, in the right places at the right times. Moving forward to our school resource program. For a long time, Hammond Police Department didn't have school resource officers. We started our school resource officer program with Courtney Christian School. It went so well that Tangipahoa Parish School System said, hey, will y'all be involved in our school system? Right about that time, Lieutenant Watson, he was getting promoted, and we needed somebody that could step up and be in a role, not only could take on the job, because let's be honest, guys, being the school resource officers and teachers, I give y'all credit, y'all deal with kids, and that's a job that not everybody can do, and not everybody wants to do. But when I needed somebody to go into the Tangi Alternative School, there was nobody I could think of that would be better than Lieutenant Watson, my friend Eric. Not only is he a great officer, not only is he a guy that is going to do his job, but he's somebody who cares. We need people like Eric Watson in our communities making a positive influence every single day on kids' lives. And that's one of the things that I can say I'm proud of, is I honestly believe that God put Eric in a position to be able to go into that school. April 14th, 2026, Eric responds to school, goes to work that morning just like any other morning. He's inside the school building. Somebody contacts him and says they have a kid in the carpool line who's refusing to get out. Eric goes out there to try to speak with the child and the parent. And legally, we can't force the kid to get out of his car. It's not a criminal matter. After several minutes of talking, trying to come up with a resolution, the father decides to go ahead and take the child back home. As the car starts to proceed off, gets less than a couple yards, Lieutenant Watson hears pow. He hears what he knows to be a gunshot. The 13-year-old child decided that he would shoot his father rather than going to school or going back home. The car proceeded forward. The child exited the vehicle with the gun in hand. The car proceeded forward and ran into a home across the street. Thank God nobody was hurt there. As this child exited the vehicle, he had a gun in hand. This is where Eric's patience Eric's experience, Eric's faith, as we all know he's a very faithful man,
Amen.
came into play. Eric Watson could have drawn his gun and shot that kid right there. Lieutenant Watson focused in on the gun. He went in, he disarmed the 13-year-old in a calm, collected manner. Kind of funny, he had a water bottle in his hand and he actually set the bottle on the ground before he did it. He was focused in. He knew what he had to do, and he was able to disarm this child before he went into the school. Now the question is what was his intentions? Well, we don't know. But I can tell you, there's nothing good that could come out of a kid with a firearm who just shot one person going into a school system or going towards a school system. We have our officers on the street every single day, and we expect them to do things. And we hope that they never have to. I would hope that Lieutenant Watson never would have had to put himself in that situation or be in that situation. But this is a prime example of he signed up for a job. And the job he signed up for is the job he loves. And that's making an impact on his community and making an impact in every situation he can. To the teachers, God bless y'all. Y'all deal with it every single day. Y'all have to count on our officer. And I'm glad that we were able to put Lieutenant Watson in that role. And hopefully we'll be able to keep him in that role for a long time. As Eric came into my office after that day, he sat there. And it takes a little while before things start registering. And as he sat there, I could look at his face and I knew in his eyes that it was starting to really hit him on the impact of what could have happened. He could have lost his life that day. Other people could have lost their life that day. Some people can say, I would have done this or I would have done that. But Lieutenant Watson did everything he should have done. And we have a 13-year-old kid who was taken into custody safely without any further violence. Guys, I know they're going to bring him up in a second, but for my friend, my former partner, my buddy, my lieutenant, thank you for being you. Thank you for being the man that you are, and thank you for stepping up.